The Lord be with you, and with your spirit. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus said to his disciples, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He takes away every branch in me that does not bear fruit, and every one that does, he prunes, so that it bears more fruit. You are already pruned because of the word that I spoke to you. Remain in me as I remain in you. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit on its own unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, because without me you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me will be thrown out like a branch and wither. People will gather them and throw them into a fire, and they will be burned. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask for whatever you want, and it will be done for you. By this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit and become my disciples." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Whenever there's a crisis in the world or anywhere, people run out and buy essential items. They go fill their car up with gas, they run out and buy toilet paper. They see an uptick in the people buying guns, people buying food, stockpiling. You know, whenever there was a crisis in the world, one thing that holy women especially have taught me, especially my mother, whenever there's a crisis, the first thing you should reach for is your rosary. Our Lady of Fatima is the feast day we celebrate today. This humble woman of Nazareth who had nothing that relied totally on God. As Jesus says, "Without me, you can do nothing." She relied totally on God. The nothingness that she was all that God needed to do great things. Whenever there was a crisis, I don't think the Virgin Mary ran out and panicked, stockpiling guns and stuff like that. She's always said the best weapon is the rosary. Sister Lucia was asked once, "Sum up for us the message of Fatima. What is the message of Fatima?" And she said simply this: return to God. Return to God. The rosary is the best weapon we can have in any crisis. More specifically, the Virgin Mary said at Fatima to pray the rosary especially, and make sacrifices. You know, some people like to pray, but they don't like to make sacrifices. Some people, of course, sacrifice, but don't like to pray. Mary says to do both. Pray, especially the rosary, and make sacrifices. Sacrifices are hard, but Mary asks that says that they will produce fruit. And Jesus says it will be fruit that will remain. Not the fruit of the world, which will not remain, but the fruit of God, which will remain always. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, you will bear much fruit and become my disciples. So today, pray the rosary. Pray for peace in our world. Pray for the conversion of the world. In a word, return to God.